What?
I got you on that one. I'm just saying, what?
And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
Once every 3 months or so, we decide to dip back into the world of Reddit and ask, am I the asshole? And I think we have 6 pretty good candidates, maybe 7 this week, for you to decide, are these people the asshole? We know we're the assholes. Strap in, bitches. Here we go. Welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, the Possum King, the best godfather a daughter could have, and one of my best friends. He is
Chris Lynch.
And, of course, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, another one of my great and good friends, best friend, if you will, and a damn thin man right now. We'll get into that in a minute. He is
Definitely thinner, yes.
Big Herm Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up?
All right, we're going to update again. You sent pictures in the group chat. You showed the before and after. Where are you at now?
We're right at about 60 pounds still.
That's awesome.
I've plateaued on actual weight loss right now, but stuff's moving around, so inches are moving and reducing, and old clothes are fitting and shit. So
cool. Chaka's in the comment section. Chaka Khan, dude, you have not sent me a link to your shit. Find me on Facebook, find me on YouTube, find me, I don't know, with directory assistance. I don't fucking know. I need to watch your stuff. Lynch said he's watched and he's loved it. Tell me more, Lynch. Tell me about Chaka Khan.
So he's kind of all over the map like we are, with as far as his YouTube editorial stuff. I enjoyed it. He does some video games. He does some stuff with local, what's going on politically type stuff around his neck of the woods. You should give it a shout.
Absolutely.
I haven't had time to watch a lot of his content, but I'm getting caught up.
Here's what I'm going to do. We're recording 2 shows tonight again. When it's all said and done, I'm going to go back and watch this replay. Chaka in the comments. I'm going to click his gimmick. I'm going to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to watch. So Chaka, you have my word. I'm going to watch your stuff. Guaranteed 1,000%.
Chaka Khan.
Now, I have to ask, because we said it in pre-production. Lynch, I'm looking at your hashtag down at the bottom. NFL is gay. And we could go 60 different directions with this, but I know where you want to go. Would you like to tell the fine folks, before we get into Am I the Asshole, why the referees are assholes?
So, over the last course of the last few seasons, one important thing has happened. The NFL is now a game you can bet on predictions through what the fuck is that? DraftKings,
FanDuel, all of them, yeah.
FanDuel. Okay. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's maybe grassy knoll conspiracy theory type thing, but over the last
no.
Hey, a conspiracy theory is only a conspiracy theory for about 6 months until the truth comes out.
Typically, yeah. And over the course of the last few years, that people can actually bet upon that. And I mean, it's down to like they can bet on the most insane things. The officiating has gotten completely out of hand and in favor or against specific teams. And it feels like that they actually are playing the game from a script. Perfect example is the Chiefs. I have watched film over the last 6 weeks of just highlights of the Chiefs games where he's faded back deep in the pocket, and there have been defenders hovering and barely touching offensive linemen, barely touching defensive men, and other defenders who are kind of holding back, who have every fucking angle on him to put him to the ground. Instead, he runs for 30 yards.
See, my
Conversely,
okay.
we'll get some bullshit pass interferences thrown where it's clearly not a pass interference.
Or
the person on the defense is looking at the ball like he's supposed to be. His body is turned toward the ball, and he's making a play based upon where the ball is relative to the position of the person he's defending. That's how that's supposed to work. When they changed that rule how many fucking years ago for offensive or defensive pass interference, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
I point back to the Kansas City Atlanta game, and I'm not being a homer on this one because everyone I know who watched that game, who know that I root for the red and black, said Kyle Pitts got raped in the end zone by the defender and no flag was thrown. My daughter's watching. Hello, Emma. Your godfather says hello. And Big Herm says hello. Say hello, damn it.
Hello.
Damn it.
Hello.
You didn't say damn it.
Damn it.
No, Herm didn't say damn it.
Damn it.
But I point back to that because I'm not saying that could have changed the outcome of Chiefs Falcons. I'm saying that when you have a defender in the end zone and he wraps his arms around like a bear hug, like you're watching fucking King Kong Bundy or Herm, depending on how you look at it. Herm, if you shaved off your beard and your eyebrows, I got your Halloween costume. Don't sound too excited, Herm.
Don't worry, I won't.
Yeah. Wow, the 16-year-old with the burn. Oh, the burn. The daughter of the burn Jr. But when you have a defender with a full-on bear hug on a receiver, and he's got his hands on the ball, and no flag comes out, am I saying that would have changed the outcome of the game? No, because Atlanta Falcons, as tepid as they are, were playing the reigning defending heavyweight champions of the world. It wouldn't have changed. It was third quarter, late in the third quarter. Anything could have happened. It could have changed the moment, but I don't know it would have changed the outcome. But to watch that and to watch some of the penalties that have been thrown in favor of, and I'll just go back a couple years, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they're getting the calls. And even the announcers will say, okay, they missed that one. But I also revert back to human error. Can you or can you not think to yourself, maybe that was human error?
But when it happens at the most opportune times for certain teams, it seems to be it's benefit of the doubt, could be human error, but happening consistently at opportune times where it's going to get that ball back to that team, to that particular team, and get them the first down because of the location of the offense and put them within 10 yards of their fucking field goals.
Well, that happened in the Ohio State game Saturday night, and I didn't bitch one bit. I mean, it is what it is. By the way, I forgot to mention my daughter's name is Emma Burns, no relation.
Some of the calls are. Megan was watching football with me 2 weeks ago, and it was so blatant that a call should have been made. Even my wife said, "How was that not pass interference?" She said it had all the elements.
Oh, the guy in
and I said, which is what you did. Well, he may have missed it.
Okay. Well, there was the blatant
when
one.
When the consistency kicks in, it's when you have to go, okay. Well, then, do they neither need to be educated what an actual foul is, or are they going to play? Are they going to play hard and stern all across the board?
Well, there was the one during the Detroit.
I don't give a fuck. It doesn't affect my life. I don't care. It's just
right.
It makes it frustrating.
True.
To watch a game.
But you do care, or we wouldn't be having this conversation right now, and it wouldn't be an issue. You care because there's some bullshit riding on a fucking on a fantasy points team.
I don't even give a shit about the fantasy points team. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's my viewing enjoyment 25 years ago of a football game versus today, where it's all fucking bullshit flags, and you win or lose a game on penalties. That's
Yep,
not what
your
football is
grandfather
about.
said the same fucking thing in 1973.
Look,
So I don't know what to tell you.
I'll point out
Welcome to
one.
2024, not 1974. The Raiders. That's the game. It's the progression. You know, we wear helmets and shit now in hockey for safety. There's a lot of. What are you going to do? The choice again. I say this to the NASCAR fucks every weekend. Watch or shut the fuck up and don't.
Basically, the one I wanted to bring up was from the Ohio State Oregon game. Different game, college versus NFL. Same game, different rules, yada yada. But when there was a sack on the quarterback and the defender who sacked Howard from Ohio State put his hand on his helmet and shoved his head into the turf, I thought there'd be a flag. The sack was legit. I'm not gonna sit here and be a homer and go, my team got robbed, yada yada yada. I said it after the game. My team lost, Oregon won, great. But as he's going down, he puts his hand up and puts his hand on the guy's helmet and shoves his head. That's unnecessary roughness. Didn't get called. Would it have changed the outcome of game? Absolutely not.
I just find it funny that even a professional football player who was in a game last night said in the after game press junket that what the fuck, and you're calling things that would have been in my benefit that weren't there.
Or the player on the winning team or the losing team?
Jets lost, didn't they?
Well, who was? Well, I don't know. I haven't watched a football game all year. So was the player on the winning team or the losing team?
I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
Bob Backlund.
Not Bob Backlund. He no here no more.
No, he's still here. He's just
just not here currently.
Currently.
Let's see. I see stars. Jets. What were they last night? Did they lose? I think the Jets lost.
I would like to think so because I got mad fantasy points out of Buffalo.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything though. I mean, you can have
lost to you by 1.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody else in that league figured out if you draft a kicker?
Yeah, it was a losing. It was a losing quarter. It was a losing quarterback.
Oh yeah, well there you go.
All right, so
I mean, he's saying that wasn't a rough. No, that's wrong. Twice they called the same call. So it's either a re-education or just I don't know. But 202 or 206 yards of that football game was all penalty. More than half the game.
Wow.
206 yards, I think it was. I don't know. And I agree with you, Herm. Either watch it or don't. It's not about that. It's just that it's so inconsistent across the board. And you know what? No group of refs is going to call the game the same way. I understand that. It happens in baseball, it happens in football. It happens in NASCAR with what people see and what decisions they make based upon the actions of
the camera angles that we get at home to make all of these judgments aren't exactly the same as standing there at eye level on a field.
Absolutely.
Completely different. We have way more eyes.
There's at least 70 cameras on the action at all times. We're going to get angles that the referees don't see, which goes back to human error.
Right, because you got to remember that, like, referees, line judges, these guys all have different jobs. Like, there's one guy whose only job is to know where the position of the football is.
Right, the line judge. Yeah.
Right. There's that. There's one guy whose only job is to watch, like, is like who's in, who's out. So it I don't know, man. It just fans are going to have issue. Again, it's the NASCAR syndrome. Fans are just going to have issue. Inconsistency here, inconsistency there. Everybody wants everything perfect. God damn it, it's my American sport. God damn it, there's history. God damn it, it's humans. God damn it. It's
understood.
I just call into question when it's the same team for the first almost half of the season that
It was the
pretty much
same team for
resoundingly.
it was the same team for 20 years, and you wear their jersey half the time. The Patriots got more than their fair share of gimme calls for a lot of years.
It's but to say early on, so were other teams. The
True.
Eagles, the Cowboys, Buffalo, anybody in this side of the country, pretty much. The officiating's pretty sway. It goes either way. It goes
Right.
back and forth, either being too strict or just la la la. I didn't see that.
Can we agree at this point in time that human error has to factor in?
Absolutely, absolutely. But it just Herm's got the perfect point. There's more. We see better angles than sometimes the line judges do when it comes down to
Way better. There's
reviewing.
no bodies in the way. We have that overhead thing does not fuck around.
But
Right.
when it comes to ruling certain things that are reviewable, I've seen some questionable shit there too. But again, is that subjective or is that objective? It's all subjective because what I determine a knee all the way down may not be what Chris determines a knee all the way down, or what some other Joe Blow Schmuckatelli determines a knee made contact with the ground. Because it's a game of inches at that point. I don't know. I miss football, real football, where we're not 5 hours for a game because of this calls judge, this walk this one back, no, move this one forward. It's an hour game, and every year it gets longer.
Yeah.
Every year it gets longer. I mean, if I was paying for my ass in a seat at the stadium, I wouldn't fucking complain because I'm getting 5 hours entertainment being at the stadium.
There you go.
When you're home, you're not benefiting anything other than being home.
No, and pizza rolls and whatever the fuck you're eating, it's all good. So
Uncrustables.
I would say that the referees are the asshole. Are you ready, gentlemen, for some Am I the Asshole?
I was born fucking ready, man.
All right.
I'm ready.
I was going to use one as my first one. I'm going to wait. Emma had to back out. I want Emma to hear the one I saved for her. But I've got one right now. This is from RJP087. I won't read the title. I'm just going to read the blurb. My family has been dealing with my brother C for a long time at this point, both legally and financially. He has been in and out of jail for DUIs. Little C. He's been in and out of jail for DUIs and heroin over the course of the last 8 years. I went out to get the mail last week. Say what?
He's just misunderstood.
Stop it. I went out to get the mail last week and noticed I had something come addressed to me from the local township. It's a letter telling me that I missed my first court date for a speeding ticket. As someone who has never been arrested or pulled over, my anxiety shot through the roof immediately, and I began trying to figure out how this was possible. My dad suggested I go down to the municipal building and talk to the clerk to see what they can do, which turned out to be a great idea. The town clerk takes the letter with my ID and prints out a copy of the ticket that was issued. All the information was right about me, except the make, model, and registration were not. The car involved was my brother. So from what I can surmise, at some point, C found one of my old licenses and decided to keep it. He got pulled over for speeding in December, and instead of having his license suspended again, based on priors, he gave the trooper my old ID. I have questions. I'll get to that in a minute. The clerk said the reason the ID wasn't flagged as expired was because my current ID has the same ID number. So even if that particular instance of my license being, okay, this girl needs to stop having a stroke. My license in general, it's a guy. So my license was in good standing. There's something I don't fully understand. What's the point of expiration dates? I'm skipping ahead. This kid is having a stroke. Okay, so the conundrum is, when I got home and I explained the situation to my dad, he was irate. Not at C, of course, but at me. You don't treat him like a brother. You've been trying to throw him under the bus for years. Then he started going into all these mental gymnastics regarding what could have really happened. Maybe the trooper made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. The reality of the situation is that if I go to my second appointed court date and plead not guilty and tell them that was what really happened, my brother will likely be charged with false impersonation, disseminating false information, and maybe mail fraud, and he'll go back to jail, likely never seeing my dad again. Dad is 74 and has cancer. God bless your dad. My dad wants me to eat the ticket and the points on my license, despite believing my brother's flimsy claim that he didn't do it. He is still denying it, despite the overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Oh, and if I do go through with this, my relationship with my dad will be non-existent. He may try to even kick me out of the family. So Reddit, am I the asshole for wanting my brother to be responsible for himself?
Absolutely not.
Explain.
See, he's got history.
Mhm.
He's got a history of fucking up.
Yeah, he's
And
a
it
fucking
sounds like-
addict. That's his fucking history. He's an addict. And the
and
father is an enabler. There it is.
And his father has a history of bailing his ass out.
Yep.
Who's this? This sounds very familiar, Jim, doesn't it? I mean, Chris, Freudian slip. Doesn't that sound familiar, Chris Burns?
Well, a little bit. Chris Lynch?
Not Jim Lallemere.
No, of course not.
The father always bails out that son because he feels a responsibility for his neglect. I get it. Being an addict sucks. I was an addict to alcohol for many years, and you do shit out that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm sure the father has some sort of guilt.
Yeah, well,
You know, there's a level of, as a parent, when your kid turns out that you're a parent, you have a tendency to internalize and look at yourself and wonder,
Was it
even
me?
if you
Did
did
I-
it, what did I do? I must have fucked up somewhere. That was my job. So that I'm sure there's a lot, but the father is definitely fucking enabling.
Of
I can
course.
understand. I can absolutely understand that, because not that I have a child. I'm not a father to anything but dogs, but I can understand that. Like, even if I put it to like a relationship, I say I really loved. Let's just say Megan just said, "Fuck you, I'm out," because of something I did. What choice could I have made to make the situation better, and that would not be put in that situation? You're always going to look at internally first. What could I have done better?
Oh, you're going with what ifism. Yeah.
Right. Well, but it's true. And as a father, I'm sure. What if I had done this? Maybe I should have paid a little more attention to Junior. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. And you blame yourself, because people who enable other people to do shit like that, that's what they do. They quarterback it.
My biggest question is, if you have someone's old license, why are you holding on to your old license? Dude, once my new one comes in, the old one is cut in half and thrown away. Why are you holding on? Are you going to look back and go, look, there was a really good time in my life. Look how sexy I was. Get the fuck out of here. Why are you saving your old licenses? Yes, the number will come up and go, okay, well, you're carrying an expired license, and if the brothers look similar, they'll get away with it. Why are you keeping your old license? Get the fuck rid of it. Cut it in fourths. Throw it away. Do your thing. But if you have a brother that is going through some really tragic things, and look, I don't mess with addiction. When somebody is an addict, I try to give them the best of me and say, look, get through it. Fight the good fight. If you don't, well, then you're out the door. Peace out. See ya, Girl Scout. This person kind of helped themselves not to be the asshole, but to also be a co-enabler. They're not doing it to the level of the father.
They're not doing it. They're not doing it subversively. It's just they don't even realize they're doing it.
Yeah, because not on the same level as the father, but for fuck's sake, why are you keeping your old licenses?
That's like if you're a thief.
Yeah, but we're not saying. Look, first of all, nobody says the guy is keeping his old licenses. What we're said was he found an old one. I've gotten an old one, swapped it out, and it could have lived and very well lived on the fucking dresser for how many months, because I got to throw it away and I just didn't. That's completely understandable. The issue is not that this is victim blaming here.
Yeah,
we can't victim blame because the guy didn't throw his driver's license away. The real issue is the police officer. Why first of all, it was allowed to just fucking slide. Obviously, this is some fucking small ass little piece of shit town where everybody knows everybody. And all right, Johnny, don't worry about it. I'll just let you go. But he doesn't know this guy because he would have known that it's not his fucking license to begin with. So,
Right.
first of all, the issue, lays on police officers as to how this even fucking happened with the license. The stealing of the license and using it is a completely separate issue. The problem is the cop fucked up and didn't do his job, and now this poor kid is dealing with this bullshit. I say fuck the brother, hang his ass out to fucking dry. Fuck the dad. Maybe here it is. You'll never see your kid. Maybe you can learn to live with not having to deal and cover that fucking kid's ass all the time. It'd be an amazingly freeing fucking thing, Pop. And as far as the kid is concerned, who had the driver's license and has got the ticket, you don't have a fucking relationship with your dad now. So if he's not going to talk to you, at least you don't have to listen to him bitch about what you're not doing enough for your brother. All right.
Exactly.
You take care of your fucking self, and everybody else can go fucking screw. If they all want to live together in some happy, unhealthy fucking meth head fucking camp, go for it. Let them all live in fucking Addictionville. I don't live there, bitch.
No, I agree with you completely, especially about the cop part. Don't let shit slide.
Right.
Go ahead. Oh, you're going to punish me by not having a relationship with me? You already treat me like shit. Sound familiar?
Yeah, and you're basically waving the flag for someone who is doing crooked shit and saying it's okay. Why are you throwing your brother under the bus? Nigga, please. And I'm sorry I sound like Herm right now. That's not
he
a
threw
knock.
me under the bus when he did what he did.
Right. He used my name, my identity, my everything to get this ticket, and now I'm on the hook. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
All
Go
he
rot
was
in
worried
jail.
about is this ain't me when it happens. This isn't me. He was perfectly okay with fucking his brother over. So karma's a bitch. Fuck him over back.
Well, and interestingly enough, is that this guy is the brother who used the license. He set himself up to gaslight his own sibling all the way down to court. Wouldn't me prove it.
Oh yeah. But
Because of the cops' poor procedure in handling the situation, that kid who got the ticket is probably going to end up paying for it. Because some fucking podunk asshole cop didn't do his job. I think that's more the valid point here than anything else.
But there are some folks. Again, I don't pick on addicts. That's a tough road to hoe. But if you're that deep and you're using other people's IDs, identity theft, basically, and you're trying to get out of what you did, you are the asshole. But the person who wrote this, 1,000% not the asshole. I would stand behind them 7 days a week, twice on Sunday in a court of law and say, no, this guy's off the hook. This guy can go fuck himself. That's what I would
agree.
I would agree.
I totally agree with that.
All right, Lynch, why don't you break out one of yours?
All right, let me take my phone off. All right. Am I the asshole for? No.
Please don't die.
Am I the asshole for getting mad at my mom for posting my engagement announcement? I, 28 female, got engaged September of this year. We had gone on a weekend getaway and he proposed to me there. It was very intimate as we did not want a lot of attention on us, especially for moments like these. We like to make these moments on our own and strongly dislike when others input on how/when things should happen. My fiance and I decided to hold off on announcing our engagement till our family decide on engagement dinner date /details. Make it their idea.
Mm-hmm.
His family put together a nice spread at their house with his sister decorating a wall in the yard for us to take some proper pictures. The day came and we went and had a lot of great pictures to use for our announcement. The day after the dinner, my mom tells me she posted a picture of us announcing our engagement before my fiance and I could. I got a bit annoyed and told her she should have just waited should have asked us first before doing that, and she flipped out on me. She yelled and told me she'll take it down. She's called me a few times and stormed. She called me a few names and stormed out of the house. I asked my family members who were around when this went down, if I had done anything wrong. I got extremely emotional. Even my dad saw me and consoled me. I keep questioning whether I should have kept my mouth shut instead of trying to set a boundary with my mom. I left the house to talk to my fiance, and he said I did the right thing to call her out in her actions, as that was our moment to share, not hers. I still feel some sort of guilt for saying anything, and I'm trying to understand why she reacted that way. It's day 2 of the incident, and my mom won't even look at me. So am I the asshole?
I'm going to go with no, but with a caveat. There was a tragedy in my life, and I maybe jumped the gun on putting it up on social media before, everybody had time to process. It was my way to process, but it wasn't everybody else's way. I got called on the carpet. I took it down. Everybody's hunky dory. As long as you accept your culpability, then you're fine. I think in this situation, the mom jumping the gun, this is not your announcement, Mom. This is their announcement. Thank you. You heard that. This is their announcement. This is their big day. This is their time to shine. And for you to jump in and just immediately, smack it out, the mom is wrong, not the young lady. She's good to stand her ground. She's right to stand her ground. And in my opinion, not the asshole.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything you just said there. Not her moment, not her time, and a lot of mothers of brides tend to want to take over total control of everything, and they have to realize this is not about you. This is not your day. This is her day and his day, and I always say the couple's day, not just her day, because you're supposed to only get married once, supposedly. It happens. You get married multiple times, and I don't care whether you're one way.
Unless you're Liz Taylor, then you get married 9 times.
I don't give a fuck how many times you've been married.
Doesn't matter.
Eventually you're gonna find the right person, and it's gonna stick.
What is that, Emma? I agree with fuck. What does that mean?
Fuck me. I'm fucked out.
Oh, you mean Lynch, your godfather, the guy? Never mind. I'm not.
Yeah, that guy. It's not about.
I got the one, Emma. I got the one I saved for you. Next.
Yeah, it's not about you. It's about the couple. It's about their day. Let them do it their own way. The mother obviously just doesn't like to be told no, or isn't told no a lot in life. So when she got all upset about the daughter getting upset, oh shit, sorry, man, I'm really sorry. I thought you would be happy, and not cop an attitude. You can be as upset as you want to be. I didn't ask you to do that.
Sure.
So please take it down.
Yeah,
don't be a cunt about it.
It's not your thing. If it's, and I'll just because the last one of us to get married was Herm. If Herm and Jen had their announcement and they called me and said, hey, we're engaged, we're doing this, yay. And I put something out there like that, yes, I'm the asshole. And if Herm called me and said respectfully, even not respectfully, bro, take it down, it's gone. It was that quick. And much like my situation some months ago, it was that quick. This has zero to do with, it's kind of different. I was processing grief. These people are celebrating joy. But it's not your joy to celebrate. It's the couple. Let the couple make the announcement.
Right. After the initial announcement is made, then you can share it and all of your friends can see it.
Bingo.
Done. Nice.
All right. I think we're all in agreement on this.
Mm-hmm.
This person's the asshole. Let me go back. I have this saved. This one I saved just for Emma, and she's watching. Not because she's either one of these things, but this one comes from Bigoted Maybe on Reddit. My boyfriend and I went on a break from our relationship to figure things out. We had feelings for each other, but weren't sure if we should be together for many reasons. It was really more of, let's break up, but getting back together is a huge possibility.
Let's fuck
We-
someone else real quick, and then we'll get back together.
Oh,
Exactly.
You're jumping
Exactly.
the shark, Big Herm. Let's get this finished. We reunited, and he confessed to me that during our break, he went out with a trans woman on a hookup site and slept with her. Okay, I'm calling foul on her, but let's keep forward. Let's go forward.
Whoa,
On her who?
wait.
The trans, her or the girlfriend her.
The
Who?
trans her.
Okay.
He admitted to hooking up with a tranny.
Yes. Do I even
I'm
need to
gonna
read the rest of this? I will.
I'm
but-
gonna need a minute to process this.
All right, take it.
You
a deep
keep
breath.
reading, buddy.
Okay.
Keep going.
His reasoning was
Oh
the
yeah.
weirdness.
let's hear it.
The weirdness of it was a turn on. I expected him to see other people, although it would have stung a bit. Specifically, seeking out a trans woman specifically made me uncomfortable, and I had to break up with him again. I can't help but see him as deviant. He called me judgmental. I'm afraid that this makes me a bigot. I don't have an issue with trans people at all, but there's something about him specifically seeking out one for the weirdness weirds me out. It's so wrong. I don't question his sexuality or anything. She was trans.
Well,
I
all right. I have a flag here. I'm throwing it.
All right.
All right.
Flag on the
All right.
play.
Yellow flag or red flag?
That's a red
You
flag.
know, yeah,
Red
he's
flag.
he's challenging the call on the
He's
field.
challenging the call on the field. That's kind of where I'm going.
All right. I'm going to walk this back a couple of steps. They're together. They want to break up. They want to get some.
They want to break, which I
They
never
wanna-
understood.
We were on a break. He wants to get a side piece. Okay.
Well,
fine.
we don't know who the break idea was. That's
Ah,
that
sometimes
that
I-
would so we can't say that he wanted a side piece. However, we can say that during the break period, he was available to grab a side piece. Let's go
Yeah.
there.
All right. Because without that context is kind of important in this scenario.
Okay.
I'm going to assume, based upon the result, that it was initiated by him.
Well,
Okay.
it said he
Oh,
sought her out, or him, or
Oh.
them, or whatever the fuck.
because he already had it in his mind. I want to try this at least once. Because he's questioning his own sexuality. So this is being with a dude without being with a dude.
Or maybe he's not, and just maybe he's not questioning his sexuality at all. Maybe she's just not aware of how
And he's
how open to either he is.
Right. Hey, he could be bisexual, which is fine.
Mhm.
But again, this is having a dude without having a dude.
Yeah, but that's
So-
how. But again, that's how we who don't agree with that see it. And this is my point, is that if he doesn't see her as a if he sees it just as a female, and it's just like dating a goth, it's banging a goth chick, then again, it's not
goth chick?
Yeah, a goth. You know, goth. You know,
Oh,
like
goth. I
goth
think you
chick,
said golf.
like
I
just because they're freaky and look that way, it's something that's a turn on. Maybe
Sure.
it's something that's a turn on. You guys are all looking at it from the that is wrong, I don't understand it, I don't get it concept. We're obviously talking about somebody who's younger and not half a boomer by age. All
Right.
right. So it doesn't necessarily, and this is the part that's kind of fucked up. It doesn't necessarily mean that he was being with a guy to be with a guy. That's how you see it.
I don't see it any other way but the way this girl is reading it. I'm going to read the last. Oh my god! Look,
All right, go ahead, Chris.
you try before I read the last paragraph, and there goes the light. Marsh is not even here. He usually knocks over the light.
Chaco, this sounds a little
try-
ditty-ish.
You try new foods. You try different movies. You don't try a homosexual experience.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes you do.
All
Yeah, you
right, let me
do.
read the rest of this before
That's
my
why
head explodes.
that's literally why it's called exploring.
I'm going to read the rest of this, and then
Experimental sex.
we'll ask the $1 million question. I do have a response from a trans person on this thread, so that's going to be interesting. I don't question his sexuality or anything, but going to lengths to seek a trans person out, I can't explain it, but I don't feel comfortable being with him anymore. Is this woman the asshole?
All right, I'm going to say, listen, there's a caveat. If he's not wrong, all right. If there was intention on getting back, like this is like we're going to break up for a month and then we're going to get right back. Okay, fine. Maybe she can have a little doubt into trusting him to not wandering off while they're back in the relationship. I can understand that aspect of it. If the guy wants to have experimental sex, let him have it. I mean, because I'm now removing myself as to how I would react. I'm looking at it from a totally different worldview right now. My worldview is that ain't flying, honey. If you want to be with a dude, be with a dude. Keep me out of it. But looking at it from what today's worldview is, let him do his thing.
Well,
come join in. Maybe you'll like it.
Thing is
Maybe
that
you'll like it.
Chaka,
she is
thank
the
you.
asshole. She is the asshole, and I'll tell you why. Because she's not mad that he went outside of the relationship that she still thought was on a break, but still a union.
Right.
She's not mad that he had sex with anybody outside of their union. She's mad with specifically
It was a trans person.
So yes. So I'm gonna say that her some sort of phobia or not being open to that. Yes, that you're being an asshole. You're not mad that he went outside. You're mad that he banged the goth girl and not the good girl next door. Okay, that's what it is. You're mad that he slept with a Jew and you're a Southern Baptist. Yes, it's the exact same fucking hate. So because of that reason, you are completely the asshole.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that yes, she is an asshole. She's an asshole.
Not mad that he went outside the relationship. He's mad specifically what the person he had the relationship identifies with.
I'm with you.
Should have no bearing on any of it. It should either be I'm mad you fucked somebody else, or I'm not mad you fucked somebody else.
I'm with you for the same reason. A break is a break. We need to get away from each other. That doesn't mean you go out and pull in all sorts of strange. It means you're on a break. You want to reevaluate your priorities. In this situation,
she should just be pissed that he did at all.
That's my point. Exactly.
It doesn't matter fucking who. She's using her what do you call it? Her homophobia or LGBT.
Stop with the homophobia. Stop it.
No, stop. I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to use it. She's using that. That bothers her. That's homophobia is what it is, bro. You cannot want to accept it, but the definition of the word is the definition of the word.
Phobia is an irrational fear. Nobody fears trans people.
No, but fear is actually where hate comes from. That same misunderstanding that causes fear is the same misunderstanding that causes hate.
I hate rats. I don't fear them.
Really? Because if I roll rodents around your house, you're not going to be happy about it.
No, I'm not going to be happy.
Doesn't mean I fear them. Have to fear them. If I look, if I filled your house with mice, you would fucking run out of there. The hate is a fear. Move. The hate is a form of fear.
I get where you're going. I just think that the term phobia has been bastardized.
Again, you're focusing on the person she fucked, not the fact that we're fucking.
I'm with you on that.
No, but that's the exact. But what I'm saying is,
I'm with you on that because she doesn't. This young lady doesn't go into details about what she did during the break. She's focusing on what he did during the break, and that's where it all goes to hell.
Well, no, that's
my question.
Well, that's the thing is, it's not that she's not focusing on what they did. She's focusing on who specifically it was. I'm going to say she didn't or it wasn't planned that there was something on her end. I'm going to assume that she didn't because she's just doing the letter and there's no last names. And, I did something too, and he did something too. But again, it comes down to it's because of who the person is, not that it was another person.
Who it was,
So
not the action.
whatever the hate / fear that she is experiencing is the reason she's mad. Is the
Can
reason
you put
she's
up? Can you
upset.
put up Chaka's comment on the screen? This is very important. In my opinion, I would say it's her dislike of or prejudice against trans people that bugs
Right,
her, which I
right,
think we're all in agreement on.
right. The
Well,
issue should be, why did you fuck somebody?
Not
And
that you fucked a
what's
tranny.
what you know, like
But
what's
she's
somebody?
not putting out
Right,
there her
right.
indiscretion.
Well, there wasn't an indiscretion. That again, you're assuming she had to have. There isn't.
I'm not
He
saying
had
that.
an
I'm not saying that I'm at all.
But
I'm
but
saying
that's not the situation. The
she's putting.
situation. But what I'm point is that she wrote about it. The
Mhm.
situation was we took a break.
Yep.
While we were on a break, he had an indiscretion.
Right.
He didn't have an indiscretion, or that would be part of the story.
My
As
point.
far as we're concerned, now we're just projecting. She
It's
didn't
the-
say
It's
she
it's the
fucked
same.
somebody. Well, there's no indication of her fucking anybody.
It's the same thing in every we're taking a break kind of relationship where both of them may have gone out and gotten some strange. Only one side's going to be angry about it.
Well, let me just say something here. If you're given the opportunity to have no limits or boundaries and take a 6-month break from your partner, guess who statistically is going to initiate to getting the strange? The
Mhm.
dude.
I'm with you on that.
Now, conversely, I'm just going to say this: guys, it's harder to get side piece than it is for girls.
I wanted to bring this up. Go ahead. I'll give you my phrase.
This is why in a relationship, in the early stages of my earlier relationships, I would get a little upset when she says, "I just want to go hang out at the bar with her friends." Okay, call it insecurity, call it whatever you want. Women have an easier time getting nameless, faceless hookups than it does for dudes.
That was my point.
Because guys will sleep with whoever's in the room at the moment. Women have a higher criteria 90% of the time. They want their perfect 10.
They want what they want.
And guess what? Their perfect 10 doesn't fucking exist.
A
billionaire with a 10-inch cock and a wart on his tongue does not fucking exist on this planet.
the phrase I was going to use, and a good friend of mine brought this up.
He's got a wart.
No, he's got a tongue ring. That's different. That's not a wart. That was implanted. That wasn't.
The lump is a lump.
You weren't born that way. Somebody who is on my side in a lot of these conversations said, Chris, this is a female that said this to me. It boils down to one thing. Women fuck who they want. Men fuck who they can. Exactly. And I said, the converse to that is men marry who they want. Women marry, in a lot of cases, who they can. I'm not saying that's all cases. It's fractional. I can see Herm rolling in his head. It's fractional. A lot of times women marry who they want, which is great. But in the case of going out and getting strange, women have a lot easier than men do.
Well, and also to reinforce that point is that the young women that were the generation that is coming of age now in their late teens, early 20s, they want the man to pay for the first date. They because why would they go on a second date? Going Dutch is a foreign concept to them. Mm-hmm. They expect the man to provide for them everything, the meal, a roof over their head, while they get to do whatever the fuck they want. No, it doesn't work that way. A relationship is 50-50. You can have a line in the sand saying, I don't want you doing this. If you can't come to that kind of agreement in any type of relationship, with friendship, marriage, or boyfriend, girlfriend, they have this very weird worldview now about how men should treat them. But they want to be, they could say they could live without a man.
Well,
so which is it? You can't have both. You can't have a man who's going to take care of everything and put a roof over your head and pay all the bills and do all the work. Media. And
that's
then
what now, Herm?
It's social media.
And then also be the feminist saying, I can do this all by myself. I don't need you. Well, no, you can't have both sides of the argument at the same time. I mean, you can be wrong and right at the same time. and that's a perfect case. You're
I'm not-
wrong
I'm
for
not gonna-
expecting
You've-
wrong for expecting a man to provide for you, but tell him to get the fuck out and all men
I'm-
die tomorrow. You're
I'm-
guess
I'm-
what? In 20 years, you'll all be gone.
To your point, Charlie Kirk did something recently where he asked women, feminists, if all men died tomorrow, could you survive? And they said, yeah. He goes, yeah, you can survive until death. Then what happens? You have no one to repopulate the planet. Then the human race is gone. But the fourth wave feminist would say a woman needs a man like a fish needs a motorcycle. No. In order to continue what we're doing, you need men and women to do what they do and yada yada. And it goes back. I'm not going to revisit the abortion point. You do what you
Well,
want.
no,
You
it
do
just
what
goes
you
to-
want. Go ahead, please.
It goes back to what the gender roles are supposed to be. I mean, the man is supposed to provide, and the woman's supposed to be in the house. And some strong conservatives have that value. That's very. It's not a secular perspective. It's very religious, where the man provides and the woman stays at home.
That
If
part
that works
yes.
for you, that works for you, that works for you. But and this is a topic I've been paying attention to a lot lately. Is this fourth wave of feminism, and it's a dangerous mindset to have, because you're raising a bunch of confused teenagers into young 20s who don't have a perspective of the world that's reachable, obtainable, or achievable.
Correct.
You can't have it both ways, sweetheart. You either want a man that can provide for you. Got a good job. He's of good moral character.
And
He loves you to
protection.
death.
Remember that word.
And protects you. And the protection isn't just I'm going to beat up bullies who call you names. Protection is having the ability to afford a home where you feel safe. Because if you're living in the ghetto and there's gunshots every 15 minutes, that's not safe. That's not protected. I mean,
I would have to say that protection is different to every person.
Well, exactly. I'm just saying
You could
traditional.
feel completely protected living in the ghetto with gunshots going around by your husband. Certain things we have to admit that if our husband is working his ass off and the best we can do is live in the ghetto and we have little food, gunshots outside our home are not my husband's responsibility or not caused by him. Unless he's a fucking gangbanger, but if he's just, if we're talking good times.
Thank you for stealing my point.
Then we're just going to work and we live in the ghetto because that's our socioeconomic class. That doesn't mean that man isn't providing just as much, if not more, protection for that family, given the hard situation he lives in order to train them and to have them be able to survive and live with that world and still feel secure.
All right, I want to read this. Go ahead, please, Lynch.
You're reinforcing the second half of that argument, is that either one could be protection.
Right, the $1 million house
level,
or the shithole in the ghetto can have the exact same level of security felt by its occupants. It has nothing to do it's not necessarily money. Is
understood?
Is where I was.
I'm going to read.
Being rich
this.
doesn't mean you secure.
I'm going to read
Exactly.
this comment from a trans person on that same thread, and then I'm going to call it a day. I think we all agree she is the asshole. But this was the first comment underneath that thread. This comes from Clear Savings 5509. As a trans person myself, I get it. Being sought after for what the fuck? As a trans person myself, being sought out for sex is what we call a chaser. Someone that would never in a million years ever want to be publicly seen with a tranny, but has no intention of dating, but only wants to use the person for sex due to their own fetishized interest. I knew that you didn't mean it. You didn't mean it was because she was trans. She was trans. That was a dude. It was only once for what we know, but if he's actively searching for trans women to hook up with or watching trans women porn, he's a chaser and you're dodging a bullet. That's disgusting. And that's from a trans person.
And for a trans person to say that, well, because that gives you that person's worldview.
Yes.
because that's in that community, that's what they call it.
Yep.
And it's interesting that even they say it's disgusting because you're only using that person for one. You're treating it like an object. It only serves one purpose to me. I don't care about you as a person. You're just something for me to stick my dick in. And I get it. You want to feel some sort of there's one night stands and hookups, but at the end of the day, no matter who you are, you just want to feel valued in a relationship.
Look, I know my daughter is in and out of this thread right now, and I'll say this: I've had a few one-night stands in my life, but it always began with some sort of connection. It wasn't like, hey, I've got a stiff proposition, you've got an opening, let's do business. There was always some sort of connection, and maybe it didn't go further than that. So be it. Life goes on. We move along. If you're just looking for the dirty, greasy hookup, then you're an asshole.
Yeah. That's
all right. You got another one?
Let me see. Let me go back to my little iPhone.
All right, we got 33 minutes to go. I have one more as well, so we might get out of this alive.
No. All right, this kind of goes into what we were saying. Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I feel like a typical housewife? I, 22 female, and my husband, 23 male, slightly argued over house chores. Context. Thank you. I love context. I work full time at a vape shop with 3 locations and only have 1 day off. I love to work and I hate sitting at home all day. Good for you. My husband is in the military and on the same schedule. 2 days out of the week, he's not home, except right now when he's home every other afternoon. He's a bit of a workaholic, and we've been married for 6 years. We've been together for 6, married for 2. The story, we split chores almost 50-50. I clean most rooms, do laundries, and do laundry and make the grocery list. He has the bathroom, kitchen, ice, and trash. I deal with housing, staff, repairs, car issues on both sides, managing our incomes and where the income goes. He pays all the bills for the house currently while I pay off my credit card debt, and he doesn't seem to mind. The problem is that while he's currently home, he doesn't do any chores every other day. I spent the entire day last week while he wasn't home and stress cleaned the whole house because I was bored and had a lot going on. I've done the dishes the past 3 times, wash and put away. We have a dishwasher for most of them, and I filled up all of my laundry. His laundry's on the other hand became a mix between clean and dirty, and he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of these." Meaning he's going to rewash his laundry and fold it his style. However, I talked to him about trying to get his chores, adulting done. He said, "I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm stressed from work, and I have to stand 6 on, 6 off, plus maintenance and this medical stuff that I told you about the other day." He has a few lipomas on a couple different places and didn't go to the civilian hospital like I suggested. Blah, 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 blah. I don't like talking about medical stuff as he does because it spikes my anxiety. More context. I'm pretty sure I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, where joints pop in and out of place.
Okay, yeah.
You get dizzy. Your cartilage isn't fully formed. My
but
joints
you
popping out of
clean
place.
the entire fucking house last week.
I get very dizzy from anxiety and depression. I have ADHD, blah, blah, blah. Hence, it's currently a battle between my mind and body. I'm exhausted, but I have so much to do at home and work. The other day, I explained that I felt like a typical housewife. He just says, "I'm sorry," and had a bit of sass in his voice. I just went upstairs to prepare for a closing shift, and he tried to continue. I needed time to think, and he wanted to keep going. Before I left, he fell asleep, and I don't know when he woke up or if he did any of the chores other than the ice. We also have pets to take care of, and I don't want. I found a few fleas, and I don't want to run the risk of an infestation. He texted me saying I was asleep longer than I wanted to be, so the dog didn't get a bath. He called me at work and said he was hungry. I told him I could cook him something if he wanted me to. He said, "No, because you said I made you feel like a housewife." I told him, "No, I don't mind cooking because I enjoy it." I then had a last minute customer and said, can you give me just a minute? There's a customer. He said, "Okay, I'll let you go." though I was going to be mute myself, basically hanging up and getting out of here. We were 5 minutes from close on a Sunday. I got home about 30 minutes after I closed, and we live 5 minutes from this location. We went and got food at McDonald's and watched half a movie, took showers, and went to bed. All I wanted was some help cleaning around the house, and all I got was an argument, sass, and one little chore done. I feel as if I'm asking for too much of him. So am I the asshole for telling my husband I feel like a typical housewife?
Yes.
I'm gonna answer, I'm going to say this out loud. Yes and no. Yes, you are. This is something that happens in my house. It drives me fucking crazy. Little bathroom trash cans. They have a bag in them.
Mm-hmm.
Once it gets to the brim, take the bag out, tie it up, throw it out in the garage. I'll take care of it.
It's too easy.
Wait, your bathroom trash can gets to the rim?
Yeah, 3/4 is full, dude.
I was half. I used to be half because
Like what? Like how often do you empty it?
This is my point, Herm. If I don't notice, because I'm only in our master bathroom for about 5 minutes a day. It doesn't take much. I have 4 other bathrooms to use in this house.
So a T-hole for every B-hole.
That's kind of that was kind of my thing. Is it's 2 of us. There's 2 fucking bathrooms. Like I can like.
But does she let the trash start piling up into an ice cream cone over the top?
Yeah, that's a little too much.
No.
Okay, so every argument I have about trash in this house is
that's me.
When you throw things away and it bounces out and hits the floor, it's time to change the fucking trash.
No, it's not. When you throw it in and it bounces out, that's when you Big Herm Sasquatch foot the trash can, and I get another day and a half out of it. All right. Look, I used to fucking do that at work. You know what a Slim Jim is, right? The tall, thin ones. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to just step while on the line, just step in and put my whole fucking leg to the bottom with my nuts brushing that top of that fucking, and then I'd look at everybody online and just to tell them that I feel real fucking sorry for the dishwasher who's got to empty this bitch tonight. Because that's me in the house. I will just take the lid off. I bought a trash can big enough for my whole foot to fit in, and that I will do it. And then
that's gonna be a fun trip to Walmart, checking your foot against the trash bin.
Yeah. And then Jennifer has to hire 3 niggas and a white boy to help her lift the trash out of the bin.
I'm gonna make this quick because I gotta pee, and then I'll get my "Am I the asshole?" Because it sounds like we've gone off the rails. Yes, woman, you are the asshole for 2 reasons. You've admitted out loud that he pays all the bills. Now, I'm not saying that absolves him from household duties. I'm saying that gives him maybe a get out of jail free card every now and again. And if you're carrying all the bills, guess what? He is absolved. That doesn't mean he doesn't have to do certain things around that house, because a marriage is a team. Now, when I was married, I made the bulk of the money. My wife made exponentially less. But when it came to the cleaning of the house, we were both equally, yoked. This is this. We split the house in half. You take care of this. I'll take care of this. And guess what? Lynch, you saw it was clean all the time. Why? Because I'd come home. It takes a half hour. Do this, do this, do this. And then she'd come home, do this, do this, do this. Then the baby came, and then we split it up. It was always, you could eat off my floor. That's how we split the gimmick. However, if he's 100% of the bills, woman, you have to give him 100% of the leeway. If he says he's tired, he's tired. Doesn't mean he won't. If he's not going to do it today, he probably will do it tomorrow. So give him a little leeway. Let him breathe. And if the situation were reversed, I would say the same thing to him that I would say to her. Give her a little breathing room. If she's taking care of 100% of the bills, you got to give her a little space. That's my opinion on it.
I agree. Similarly, you already said it's something you agreed upon, and that's where the yes and no comes in. Yes, you're being an asshole because due to the context you gave, give the guy a little bit of breathing room. He's having some health issues. He's a little stressed out about that. Lipomas are nothing to laugh at. They're common, but they could be cancerous too.
Sure.
So you gotta give the guy a little slack.
Herm's
No,
ruminating.
no,
I can see the vein coming out.
no, you're not the asshole because you have a 50-50 agreement. When
Yeah.
if there's no set schedule as to when things get done, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't happen on Tuesday, it'll probably happen by Friday.
Bingo.
It's just, but it's like the silly argument that I have with my wife every fucking week was about bathroom trash and the bedroom trash. When it's at and over the top like an ice cream cone, you can and I do this all the time. I'll grab the trash bag, look at me, tie the bag up. I walk to the garage door 10 steps away, plunk, it's there. Guess what? Empty trash. And I'm sarcastic and an asshole about it. But it's just
no, not you.
When you see something is amiss, fucking fix it if you have the time. There's no way to sit there and get worse.
Herm works in a kitchen. I work in a kitchen. It's the same thing. If somebody drops something on the floor and there's a spill in that kitchen, you should immediately address it.
Right. You immediately call somebody and have them clean it up.
Right. If you're the head guy, I'm kind of like mid-level management. I'm one of those guys. I'm just gonna, if I see it, I'm gonna take care of it. The last thing I want is to have to do 42 hours of paperwork to deal with some workman's constipation bullshit because somebody walked through, didn't see it, slipped, broke their face, and it's all over. If you see something, take care of it. It's what I've done at every job. If you see something on the floor, I don't care if you did it, pick it up. Christ, it's like raising children. How'd the socks get on the floor? I don't know. They're your fucking socks. Pick them up. It's way too fucking easy. And I think this woman is making it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree. It's simple things. You know what? And it happens to us. We use this. I get so pissed at her, I just don't do it. And she gets pissed at me and does. It doesn't get done for a month.
Shit happens,
little,
life.
You know. But we make it a joke. It's not,
understood.
We don't get angry. We don't get angry at each other. I'm just a sarcastic prick who likes to point it out every once in a while.
Well, as long as we're joking, we are 3 weeks away from our election here in the United States. I know we have viewers elsewhere. So I'm going to read this one that I found. This came up 3 months ago. I don't know what country they're from. This comes from Parking Emergency. I'm not going to read the headline. I'm just going to read the body of the text. Hi, I really wanted some outside perspective, so anything you guys can say or any advice you can offer would be greatly appreciated. I'm not looking for reasons on why mine or anyone's political opinions are right or wrong, just advice on how to handle this situation best. So a week ago, there were elections in our country. No idea where, they don't say. The party that won has a far right... 7:30, but I don't think I can make it to the party.
Durkistan.
The party that won has a far-right conservative ideology. They have no plans to protect gay, trans, women's rights, or they're known to be discriminatory toward Muslims or Jews. I already have a problem with that country's far right. We'll go later. Doesn't matter. Let's read this person's thing. They also voted against abortion being removed from criminal law. To add to the matter, I got pregnant and had an abortion a year ago. It was very tough and something I struggle with still. My boyfriend fully supported the abortion and helped me through it all. Abortion, thank you. It's like Sheboygan, but different.
Yeah.
So when the votes were counted, I asked him which party he voted for. Okay, there's your first mistake. He said the winning party, and I thought he was joking. We had discussed it previously, and his answers were more left-centric leaning. So I thought he was messing with me because he knew my opinions on the far right party, but it turns out he was serious. I felt my stomach drop. I told him I felt personally hurt that he would vote on a party that were basically saying what I did is a criminal offense. He said that's not why he voted for them.
Wait, so the conservative party where they are supports abortion?
Has abortion limits. Or to term limits, I guess, because she didn't say. She just said that certain things as far as women's rights are, quote unquote, a crime in their country.
Okay.
Again, if you'd listened. No, I get it. These people, they go all over the map. He said it's not why they voted for him, but other points he really agreed with. Okay, fair. I told him that it's a package deal, and he really got angry with me. That I was judging him for his views, that I have no right to interfere with his vote and his voice, and that he shouldn't be blamed or made me feel guilty for voting on who he feels is best for him. I understand how he can think that this party is good for the country and the people living in it, but I still don't agree, and I feel angry that he would even vote for them. I'm so mystified, and I feel betrayed by his vote. Am I the asshole?
Yes. Absolutely fucking yes. And I agree with what the boyfriend or husband, whatever the fuck the relationship is. Yeah, I don't agree with that, but there's all this really other good stuff over here that I do like. I don't like the other person or their policies, so I'm going to vote with how I feel more comfortable for me and how I want to
Sure.
see run the country.
I'm
my
with that.
wife and I are very far apart on a lot of things politically. Very far apart. I'm more center right, and she's way left. So we disagree a lot on a lot of things. But I don't hold it against her. I don't get angry at her. She doesn't get angry at me for holding my beliefs and feelings. You can't that is complete gaslighting from the moment the word go, because no matter what he says, it's always going to be his fault. See,
Well-
you elected him into office.
Well, that's like
Well,
recently.
who cares?
I won't mention names, but I got threatened, and it's by a really good friend, and I know that this person would never physically harm me. But I said something, and I say something foul about both the Republican and the Democratic Party. It just seems like the people who are aligned with the Democratic Party get a little bit more upset. I said something about Kamala Harris not being very good and very verbose. She's not Barack Obama. She's not Bill Clinton. She's not Jack Kennedy. Hell, she's not even Mike Dukakis. She sounds like the kid in 5th grade trying to fill up that book report to make sure she gets the word limit correct. And I got told, how dare you say something bad about Kamala Harris? I ought to punch you in the mouth. Okay, but you'll say whatever you want about the opposing party. I don't have that problem. I will shine the light on both sides and show you how ignorant the two candidates are. I don't like DJT and I don't like Kamala Harris. I do like their running mates, though, which is going to make this election very difficult since the independent candidate dropped out. I'm still trying to figure out who to vote for, but who I vote for doesn't change who I am as a person toward you. If Herm said today, I firmly stand behind Kamala Harris and that's who I'm voting for, my response would be, cool, cast your vote. If Lynch said today, I firmly stand behind Donald J. Trump and I'm going to vote for him, I would say, cool, cast your vote. Doesn't change who they are as human beings, but they're going in a direction where certain policies, not all of them, and that's where today's political climate gets fucked up. I can look at the Republican side and see policies that I really, really like and I really, really support. And I can look at the Democratic side and look and say, there's some policies I really, really like and I really, really support. It doesn't make me one or the other. But if I vote against one or the other, already I'm ostracized by that half of the country.
Well, because that's what you're being, kids are being indoctrinated with the ideology that if you're not for me, you're against me and you're the enemy. And
that's wrestling. That shouldn't be like that. That's professional fucking wrestling right there. That's horseshit.
Well, that is the truth. You're either with me or against me, and fuck you if you're against me. Because they don't want to teach children how to engage in conversation and pick each other's brains. Because teachers nowadays just want to get through. They want to get through the day because there's not enough of them. They don't get paid enough. And if the teachers that do care about the education level they provide, they're unfortunately the silent majority because the school system won't stand behind them. That's the fact of the matter.
Yep.
That's the fact of the matter in the United States right now with education.
Herm will agree with me, although he never had him as a teacher. It wasn't until the day his wife died that I learned that my favorite teacher was Jewish. Do you know why? because he never outwardly put it out there. We'd get to December, the holiday season. We'd have Hanukkah over here, Christmas over here, and then Kwanzaa became sort of a pseudo thing. We had Kwanzaa over here. He would decorate the room, or he'd have the kids decorate the room, but you didn't know where he sat. He just, you guys have a great holiday. We'll see you in a week and a half. And you were gone. And then you show up at the funeral and he's wearing a yarmulke. And I don't know if, were you there for Roz's funeral, Herm? You were there for Mort's.
I was there for Mort.
Okay, so at Roz's funeral,
No, I did not. I spoke to him real shortly after that at the bank, and that's how
okay.
I found out from him.
So at Roz's funeral, a bunch of us old students, we took up an entire row, and somebody elbowed me, and I looked, and he's like, "Did you know Mr. Krieger was Jewish?" I'm like, "Not until about 4 minutes ago when I saw the yarmulke," and the rabbi comes in, and he's shalom this and that and whatever, and because teachers then didn't push their particular ideology onto you.
Because that's how it's supposed to be.
And how, and I'm using this as an example because I know ish, because between the two of you have got 50 years combined on the job with the two of you. I kind of know where you sit politically, but I don't think if I came out and said, I'm going to go this way, either one of you would MF me or tell me I'm an asshole or call me a degenerate or what the fuck. Your vote is your vote. You vote for principles. I saw a commercial last night during the Yankees game. It was some jackass, Chris Murphy, I think, from Connecticut. Early voting started and and go out. Make sure you vote Democrat all the way down. I'm like, bitch, don't tell people to vote a party line, because there might be, if you're a Democrat and you see on the Republican side, oh, that guy cares about the school system and that guy cares about this, I think I'm going to vote for him. Voting a party line does nothing to make this country better. Vote principles, not personalities.
Exactly. And if when you're, I don't know if you guys remember your political science class, or if you took political science.
Yeah.
Or was there was a module of political science in your history class or social studies. It's a lot different now than it was then. Things change, things evolve, but history never changes.
Correct.
And you would be amazed with second, third year college students, if you challenge them and ask them to answer the question, which political party fought to free the slaves, you'd be amazed at their answer.
Oh yeah. With her
because now the tide has turned. All it must have been a Democrat.
Well, let me.
It was the Republicans, kids.
I want Herm to chime in because it's the reason I like talking to the two of you, because although we may agree or disagree ideologically, we always listen to each other. When you tell someone who, by the way, depending on how you look at it, yesterday here in America was, depending on how you look at it, either Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. Let them both go. You're viewing Christopher Columbus through 2024 lenses, which you really can't do. They want to point to America as colonizers. They want to point to America as slave owners and this and that. First of all, we weren't the first colonizers here in this country.
We weren't the first slave owners.
No, and we were the quickest country in the history of this great planet to abolish slavery. We're also the quickest to bring equal rights to the masses. So when I hear these people cry the blues, I'm like, you obviously have never picked up a book one fucking moment in your life.
I mean, how do you think the pyramids were built? They weren't voluntary work. They weren't voluntarily working. They were slaves.
No, there are countries.
We're talking in times. That's before Christ.
Correct. There are countries in this world that still employ slavery, and it's just the way it is. So before I go upstairs and pee, actually, I'm going to wait. We only got 10 minutes left to go. I can pee in between shows. By the way, watch a speed review later tonight. You're going to have a good time. Herm's got a rant. I can't wait to hear this.
I'm gonna tune in because I want to hear it.
Does political ideology change the way you feel about a person?
What's up, Maxwell?
Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. One-legged Max up there in Vermont. Appreciate you. By the way, how is Arizona still in business selling me this big-ass can for 99 cents? Peach tea. Go out and get some.
I love that stuff.
Because whoever you are going to has made that choice. There's other people that make it. You can actually they actually make different cans.
Now, I'm not worried about that. Talk about politics. We got 8 minutes left.
Yeah, it does to a degree. There are because usually you don't just get what a person is, you have to hear about what they think, and then sometimes when you hear them when you listen to them think, they just sound stupid.
What was the joke we made last week? And that's when Jesus came down and invented the
Right.
AR-15 and got rid of the
Jesus
dinosaurs.
came down with the AR-15 and
he beat the dinosaurs and the homosexuals.
Defeated the dinosaurs and the homosexuals. Yeah, unfortunately, it lets me know which way usually a person leans on certain things.
Mhm.
And yes, it will affect how I think about you.
Well, can I call a timeout? Because you and I differ somewhat on the issue of abortion.
Yeah.
We can agree with that. Mine is not so far-fetched where I think no one should ever have an abortion ever in the history of ever. Yours is, it's your body, it's your choice. I think there should be a limit. You, on the other hand, I don't know where you stand on that. I don't want to go too deep on.
I think there should be limits. You want to know my honest opinion? I'll put it out here right now.
I'm a little afraid, but I'd like to hear it.
All right. Since we've started medical technology, we have been adversely and unnaturally affecting the birth rate on this fucking planet.
True.
We take into account that we can have the best medical fucking care at a moment's notice, but that fucking with nature, that's okay. Do you know what the actual survivability, the self-survivability of a baby born with no medical help is? Do you know what the survival?
Less than 1%.
The survival is 37 weeks. Before 37 weeks without any medical care.
Oh, I thought you meant born outside.
No. I mean that 37 weeks in utero is the line with zero medical care when we can be 100% sure that that child will live on its own outside.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so we fuck with Mother Nature up until the whole time. The whole time we have pushed that 37-week, 100% guaranteed viability rate back weeks and months and percentages that we're all perfectly healthy and that's okay. But we fuck with those natural numbers on a daily basis. The fact is without them, babies would be dying left and right because they were born prior to 37 weeks.
Correct.
So I'm okay with 37 weeks being the cutoff.
That's fair, and I'm not gonna.
That literally that makes it unnatural. That 37-week allowance would actually, and you know how I feel about this, would balance the actual unnatural increase in birth rate that we have on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually why we don't have enough food. The food, it's not because we don't have food. It's because we unnaturally, to the positive, fuck with the birth rate.
But the point I'm going to make, and this is a clear example, you stated your opinion, your beliefs, your value system. Does that mean I'm going to turn tail and run and say, well, no, I can't be friends with you? Fuck no. It means you have this belief and this value system and this priority, which I may not agree with. And
right.
We've had so much civil conversation
right,
about it.
By the same token, you and I, the belief, whatever we're using as the reasons we believe for whatever, we also are the type of people where they actually you have to be able to add the numbers up and come up with an understanding.
Thank you.
All right.
You have to be able to look at the other side. And
For me, the reasoning is we fuck with the birth rate to the positive unnaturally. If we allowed for up to at a natural rate, while you may not like any of those reasons or what it leads to, you can completely comprehend those reasons. And I think that's a very big part of it. We need to understand why somebody thinks that, not just what they think.
Here's the big difference. One's a feeling and one's a fact.
Okay. Having said that, I want to throw this to you before we close. When I hear people say there are no laws that regulate what a man can do with his body, I point out basically every law in the book tells us what we can do with our body. And conversely, the draft, which depending on who you listen to may or may not come back into existence, tells a young man what he can and cannot do with his body. Lynch, for you, are you how do I put this? I don't want to be that pretentious cunt.
Is there a law somewhere that restricts the right of a man to have a surgical procedure on himself?
There is not. However, that's a conversation for another time, because I have a lot to say about that, and I agree with the people that have put it out there, females mostly. I agree with them. Let me put that out there. I agree with them. I think that if you are of age, Lynch, I'll get back to that question in a second. I think if you are 18 and your partner is 18 and you don't want to get pregnant, or you don't want to get the other partner pregnant, you're both equally yoked. You don't have a baby on your own. If you did, your name would be Mary. You'd be in the book. They'd be worshiping you on Sunday, yada, yada, yada. It's a one and done. It's a once in a billion years fucking happening. And I question, never mind. I'm not going to get my religion into this, but I question that that's real. Anyway.
I baked a pie, Mary. It's a pie, Mary.
Right.
Jesus, God helps me.
Right. Anyway, Lynch, the question to you before we close, and you're going to be the main event, is a political ideology for you a deal breaker? And we're using our criteria. Can you talk about it? Can you have rational discussion? Can you agree to disagree? Would you walk away from someone if they were ideologically, easy for me to say, opposed to you?
Opposition wise, no.
No, he's still here.
Right?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, there's things that both of you agree with that I don't disagree, but I don't buy into full. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the fence.
Right. All three of us.
I'm going to admit
for all three of us all the way around with that. Like, yeah, no, that I don't think that, but that he does. And that's
I got to hear that. I got to hear this.
But I'm 100% a fence rider because I listen to both sides of the fence, and what my thoughts on today about a topic all depends about the real facts and information I'm getting from both sides. That make because I do have feeling in my thought process, and I want my agreements with a certain law or an ideology. Common sense is very important.
It also depends on the day, sir.
It does,
because tomorrow, when something tragic or horrible or delightful, or for whatever reason the event happens, it's entirely possible that event completely changes an ideology.
Right,
so
because
it's literally your answer yesterday
isn't going to be the same as yesterday.
Not necessarily the same answer today.
That's why I said I need to know what up to the minute today of what my stance is on that. I need to know all the information.
Which is why folks like you and me and Herm, who are constantly on the lookout for news and information, rather than some schmuck who just watches Rachel Maddow or Joe Scumburrow, and they're breathing in the talking points, and they use them as if they're fact.
There can be a situation where maybe it's somebody I don't really know all that well, or I have a half an idea of what they're like, and they say some really outrageous things, and you think they're joking and they're not.
No,
it might be somebody I don't want to associate with because he has dangerous ideations and feelings towards a certain subject.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody out that was in my orbit came flat out and said, pedophilia is fine.
No,
It is.
The guy from the University of Kansas who just got suspended, whether or not with pay, told people, he's a professor, and he told his class, if you don't vote for the people who don't vote for Kamala Harris should be lined up and shot. That's dangerous.
That's a man I don't want to be around.
Yeah, that's not somebody I would want to be with socially.
With whether he's saying it in jest or he's saying it with 100% intent of actually hurting someone, is a fucking sick ideology.
Right.
You need to be locked up and kept away from people.
We talked about,
and let me guess, he's probably a fucking liberal, and he probably would. He is the exact thing that he calls the other side. He is the fascist.
Exactly.
Because you're censoring speech and thought and feeling, and if you go against me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's what the fascists did and tried to wipe out an entire fucking race of people called the Jews.
We talked about it a couple months ago in July, when the attempt on President Trump happened. And whether or not we like Donald Trump is irrelevant. You shouldn't be trying to kill someone else just to either make a name for yourself or because you don't agree with them politically.
You shouldn't say something like, I wish he had gotten away with it. I wish he had got him.
Yeah, look at what happened to Kyle Gass from Tenacious D on stage 6 hours later, and it was his birthday, and they brought out the cake. They said, "What's your wish?" "I wish next time they don't miss." You just buried yourself, dude.
Whatever,
if you think that, keep it here. But the minute you put that out in the public square, you're an asshole.
You have every right to be judged.
Sure.
Because some people who will agree with you are saying, yeah, go Kyle Gass. And then a guy with common sense like me and you two, we're like, whoa, did you just say that out loud?
That's a bridge too far.
You have every right to say it. You have every right to say it.
I don't like Nickelback, but I don't want those 5 guys to be shot on stage. Let me leave it there. I dislike the New Orleans Saints, but I don't want their stadium blown up and every 52 players on that team eviscerated.
Well, you wouldn't cry if their plane went down in a crash.
Well, that's the Cowboys.
I'm kidding.
That's a different story.
Got
anything else for us, Herm, before we close out?
No, it's all true.
We're good. I smelled dinner.
And this, children, is how discussion goes. Professor Herm, Professor Lynch, Professor Burns, we're here for you every week at 6 p.m. Tuesday night. Sit down, strap in, and by God, learn something from us.
Learn what not to do.
Right. You guys have a great night. All you speed freaks, we'll see you at 8 o'clock.
Oh, shit. I got to send a link.
Fundamental.
That's all good. Thank you, Max.
Maxwell.
One-legged Max says, very good, gentlemen. We appreciate you. I got a good last word for tonight, boys.
Do you though?
I'm going to hell for this, but why did God invent yeast infections?
Oh, why?
So women could know what it's like to live with an irritable cunt.
Oh.
Ooh.
You're welcome. Good
Some
night,
people
everybody.
like those.